And it's been Kraetzer for Canvas Media. 17-11, Army wins the 2023 Army-Navy game here at Gillette Stadium. Went down to the last moment as Navy made a furious comeback in the final minutes of the game. Army had gone ahead in the second quarter on a Bryson Daly 4-yard touchdown pass to Tyson Riley. Riley, normally a fullback, normally a tight end, goes out to wide receiver about a yard from the sideline. Nobody went to cover him for Navy. Daly saw it. He had the ball snap, threw the ball, and got the completion to Tyson Riley for a 4-yard touchdown to give Army an early 7-0 lead. Quinn Morensky got a PAT, and then right at the end of the half, Morensky was able to hit a 47-yard field goal, one of the longest of his career, and gave Army a 10-0 lead going into halftime. Navy came back in the fourth quarter, still trailing 10-0. They got a 37-yard field goal from Nathan Kirkwood, and then Army made a big play on defense. Caleb Fortner, inside linebacker, blitz. He got a hold of Ty Levitai, the Navy quarterback's hand, grabbed the ball, and did a quick strip and ran for a touchdown, 44 yards on the strip fumble. And with Morensky's extra point, Army got to a 17-3 lead. But then Navy made a furious comeback in the last minutes. Ty Levitai, who came in for the starter, Xavier Arline, made some big plays, threw the ball very well for Navy, and he got a 14-yard touchdown pass to Jason Umbarger, and they got a 2-point conversion. No, they actually failed. I'm sorry, they failed on the 2-point conversion, so that made it 17-9. And then they should even get the ball back and go down the field, and they have a first and goal at the Army 6-yard line. On this one of the plays, Caleb Fortner made another huge play on a stop, came down to a 4th and 2, and the Army defense just made the play. It was on the replays, you couldn't see where the ball was, but they didn't give it to Navy. It really decided the game, that call. And so Army got the ball back, and Bryson Daly took a safety on the play as they took the ball right on the 1-yard line, and he took a safety, and that was the final score, 17-11. Looking at some of the notes on the box score, Bryson Daly 7 of 14 passing for 54 yards. Kanye Udo, the big surprise, the big pleasant surprise at running back, 88 yards today on 13 carries, 6.8 yards a carry. I said in the press conference, I thought he reminded us of a young Ray Maples having a big performance as a freshman in an Army-Navy game. Daly ran for 84 yards himself, 27 times. Ajon Marshall got 19 yards. Jacoby Buchanan, just 4 carries, he got 9 yards. And Terrell Robinson got 1 carry for 5 yards on the day. Casey Reynolds had a big day, 3 catches for 32 yards. And Toby Olayiwola got a catch, as did Ajon Marshall had 2. Tyson Riley had the touchdown reception, as we talked about. And on defense, Caleb Fortner, what a career he's got as a sophomore. He's got a very bright future to be a leader on the Army defense. He had 10 tackles, 5 solos on the day. Leo Lowen, we talked to him in the post-game press conference, 9 and 3 solos. Jimmy Charlo has had another great senior season, 7 tackles. Jackson Powell some big plays down the stretch. He had 6. Austin Hill, 6. Quinn Hammonds had 6. Max Domenico had an interception in the first quarter and got 5 on the day. Nate Smith had some big plays today. He had 3. And Jabari Moore, in his last game for Army, I got to check how many he's actually played in his career. I just want to see if I can get that, what the total is. he has got over 150 games played for Army, and one of the true leaders in that. Well, tackles. And I want to check his games played afterwards. But so many Army seniors, 35 of them played or dressed for the game today. And part of that's the COVID, that players could take a fifth year if they had eligibility. And so had some fifth-year seniors on Army this year. Taking a quick look at Navy, Ty Levinson, as we said, came in and had a terrific game for the midshipmen. He was 16 of 26 passing, 179 yards, 7 a throw. Xavier Arline was very ineffective, 0 for 2, and Arline just ran for 6 yards. We thought he was going to have a big game today. I really thought he'd come in and be a playmaker for Navy, but it turned out to be Levitai, who had the big game in 2021, beating Army in the Army-Navy game. And also, Eli Hendrick had some big catches for Navy at 4. Jaden Umbarger had 6 receptions and a touchdown. And on defense, Colin Ramos, 16 tackles. Wow. Luke Pires, 9. Evan Gibbons had 9. And Will Harbor, who we talked to, is going to be a fighter pilot, had 8. And Monty Williams had 8. So really game effort by Navy. Went down to the last play, even when we thought Army was dominating some of the early going. Army really had some aggressiveness on defense, but Navy was able to, a lot of ways, limit the Army offense. As Coach Munkett said, really 10 points. I think Army's going to have some real thinking to do about what they're going to do on offense. They were used to doing under center, and they were successful in the game against Coastal. As Coach Munkett said, Navy and Air Force are very good at stopping the under center option type offense. And so he wanted to try something different. But I think they're going to have some retooling to do. The fortunate thing is you got experienced quarterback in Bryson Daly, and you got some young quarterbacks who got some experience this year, Champ Harris in particular. Larry Williams has looked good. So we will see what the offense looks like when we get to spring practice in March and April. And gosh, I'm looking forward to that already. But the other big thing that's going to happen, 2 big things, is the arrival of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy. We understand it is still at the Air Force Academy. It was not shipped in for this, which was surprising. I guess Air Force would have held on to it should Navy have won this game. But now they're obligated to make sure the trophy gets to West Point, and there will be a big celebration when that happens. I think the last time they brought it into the evening meal for the cadets, and that was a big celebration. So we'll see if that happens maybe this week before exams start. Best wishes everybody at West Point on their exams. And the other thing's going to happen this spring, last 2 times that when Army went to the White House was around May 1st, early May. I guess there's a time slot. It's been open, in that case for President Trump. And so we will see what happens, see when that date gets scheduled for the Army football team to go to the White House. Only 2 ways to get to the White House in college football. One is to win the national championship. The other is to win the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, which Army has done. 4th time under Jeff Monken. And just thinking, how things have changed from our early years covering Army football, in around 2010, although Army did win a bowl game. But the 14-year losing streak to Navy in this game. And now Army has won this multiple times, 3 times in a row from 2016, 17 and 18, and then 2020. And winning the game last year really put a positive spin on the season. So it's been a successful tenure. I'm going to run, and thank you for watching. Thank you for everything everybody has done for me personally over a very tough stretch, very tough event this season and this year. Anyway, Ken Kraetzer from Foxborough Gillette Stadium. Army wins the 2023 Army-Navy game.